Hey guys, Electron Man. Well, we're on part three of this SWR analyzer. I'm going to call it the Electron Man analyzer, SWR analyzer. I put a lot of work into it. As you can see, I've got all the stuff installed. In fact, I wished I'd done a little review on this frequency counter. That's really a decent little unit. Probably the only negative I give it is it doesn't have a wire input for the input. It only has that SMA, and sometimes, if you want to mount it to a circuit board or something, the SMA doesn't make sense. They should have just had a port or a couple pins so that you could hardwire it to something. But I managed to, with a small soldering iron, carefully get in there and get a wire soldered onto it so that I could use it like I need for inside this box. But anyway, as you can see, I'm completely mounted now. I've got a few things to clean up. I got to do the wiring on it. I've opened it shut so many times I broke off one of the wires to the meter, which that's an easy solder place. The next big thing I'm going to do is get it completely wired. I've already got a lot of it started wiring, but I'm really waiting on I've decided on this is the battery I'm going to use. It's an 850 milliamp, 11.1 volt. Dude, this thing will run it for days probably. But anyway, the point is it's got that Dean's connector on it. I thought about cutting it off and hardwiring it, but I really like to have it to where I can unplug it and either replace it or pull it out to charge it, whatever. So I went ahead and ordered some Dean's plugs. So I'm kind of waiting on that. So hopefully they're supposed to be in here in a day or so. And once I get that done, I'm going to go ahead and get it on the bench out there, and I'll do a little video on me finishing up all the wiring on it. We're pretty close. We're about halfway wired right now. We just need to finish up the wiring, solder it all in there, and seal the box up. And then I've got the knobs pretty much figured out too, but I'll show that on the next video. Hey guys, Electron Man. Well, we're on to part three now of this SWR antenna analyzer. That's a tongue twister, but anyway, I was gonna show you how detailed how to wire this, but really, it's kind of hard for me to break it down. But basically, really, all I'm actually really doing here, it looks kind of more complicated than it is. I'm actually just tying all the grounds and all the positives together for my voltage, as well as I'm going to hook my connector up to which will feed the main power to the whole unit, and I'll feed it back here where the 12 volt jack is, the external 12 volt jack, so that I can still technically charge it. I just need to mark it LiPo. You wouldn't want to hook it with a regular charger, but the LiPo charger, since I'm using a LiPo, you could plug it in there and charge it. But also, fortunately with this, it's got this little switch here, and fortunately, I guess it was a dual-sided switch, but it left me with the little prongs so that I can solder on my main power to feed the frequency counter and my LEDs to know it's on. So I'm gonna have to get the voltmeter out, figure out which one of these is the switching one, and I'll hook my 12 volts up there so that whenever I power it up, it'll feed 12 volts back to the LEDs and to the lights on the meter and the LED light for power. Hopefully that makes sense. But like I said, this looks a lot more complicated than it probably really is. It's a bunch of, I've got all the pigtails for my LEDs, and I also got the pigtail to feed my 12 volts or 11.1 volts to the frequency counter and the light meter. So really, it's just really tying all this stuff together. I was going to sit here and video me just twisting the wires together, but I didn't really see that made a lot of sense. So anyway, technically, I guess you don't have to solder these, but I want a really good connection and make this permanent, and the best way to do that is just to drop a little solder on there. That way I know they're not coming loose. That's all I got to do on those two. I'll trim the edges a little bit on it and put the heat shrink over it. These are all the positive wires. Don't pay any attention to the color on the LEDs. These Chinese LEDs, for whatever reason, the black is always positive on them and the color is a negative. Not sure why they did it that way. I wouldn't have done it that way, but who knows. Anyway, there we go. And that'll seal that. As you can see, I already kind of started trying to wire tie some of this up, clean it up some. Let me go ahead and shrink that real quick. Okay, that one. Now that I just need to do the same on this one, which it appears that I've already shrunk the heat shrink. Lovely. Might actually work. I even went to the trouble of pre-putting a piece of heat shrink on there, and then I go and lo and behold, I heat shrink it anyway. That's okay. I think this is going to work good. I had a lot of connecting there anyway, so yeah, that'll work good actually. See, there's my LEDs. I have my red one for the power, and I'll put a green one behind the display. And now I'm shrinking her down. Be careful here. That's the signal wire. I'm gonna pull it out, and then I'm down to power wire on the switch, power wire to the plug, and the ground. So let me go ahead and shrink this one while I'm at it. It should drop in there nice and neat that way. And the red one, give me a little super glue, glue that in there. And then all I got left to do is hook up a couple power wires here. Take this one off, I don't need this one. Tin this guy up. Good. Okay, that'll feed the main power right there. And I just need to drop the ground on. I got a nice little tab here I can drop the ground on. Come on, work with me here, really. Why am I having to chase that? Huh? That completes the ground wire. Oh, let me get that meter fixed too while I'm at it. That might be a little trickier than. That's the only ones I was real froggy. I'd extend those because they're just a little on the short side. But I need a third hand here bad. How am I going to do this? Well, I got lucky on that. It wasn't bad. I thought it was going to be. I'll pull it off again. Now all I need to do is get the hot wire hooked to the switch. We'll go ahead and tin that guy up. And now I'm down to one more connection. I'm guessing it's that middle one, but I need to find out. So let me. Which, yes, I'm safe to go ahead and. Come on. Suppose you shouldn't burn it, but I really, well, let me just put it in the stand. Okay, I should be able now to plug in the battery pack. Which the plan with it is to mount it right down there with some double-sided tape. So we now have voltage going to it, which means that the actual unit. Okay, need to go get my meter. I tell you what, guys, this is a little $30. I think I did a review on it too. It's a little $30 Amazon meter. I've got a Fluke. I've got a nice bench Fluke. I got about 4 or 5 different meters, but just for grabbing one, this is always the handiest one for me. I like the big display on it. Okay, so we already know we got ground here, so I just need to find 11.1 volts here. Okay, so we got 12 volts there, 11 there. So I should have got to have that to the switch. Is it off or on? That makes sense. Okay, it's off now. So the center one's got 12 volts when it's off. So that means when I turn it on, and I have 12 volts at the outer one there. I'll turn it off. Do I have 12 volts at the outer one? No. Okay, so it's gonna be that one pin right there that I need to hook this 12 volts up to, and then that'll should power everything else up. Okay, 10 to nice. And that should do the trick. Nice pretty solder joint there. Now then, I should have LEDs come on. Yep, see, everything powers up now. Just like magic. And when you turn it off, it turns everything off. All we got left to do is super glue this meter in here, or LED in there, and then I'm just gonna mount this guy to the back of this meter, and hopefully it'll give it a little bit of a glow. LEDs are cheap, and I had one, so let me go ahead and I'm gonna need actually a couple of pieces of double-sided tape. Let me go ahead and mount that battery in there. Just gonna take her in the slider. That ain't going nowhere. Looks like really all I'm down to. Sorry, I hope I've got nothing. So now then, I'm down to mounting this one for the LED power indicator, and I'm gonna put this on the back of the meter, and I should be able to close her up. I think I might put a couple more wire ties here just to clean her up a little bit more. Just pretties it up, and it keeps the chance from those wires getting hung on something. Just like that. Yeah, let me go ahead and stop the video now, and I'm going to glue that in there and put my little deal there, and we're going to go ahead and go back in there where it's warm. It's a little bit chilly out here in the bench area, and put the lid finally on, and then maybe start labeling it and doing a little review and testing of it. we're getting there, guys. This has been like a week-long project. Of course, I had to stop and wait for parts too. That always makes it fun. As you can see, I've got the LEDs now glued in there. Got the wires all trimmed and cut. So this is hopefully the last time for a while that I'll have to have this guy open. Should tuck nice and neatly in there. Should sit down nice and neat. Just like that. And now all I gotta do is find the screws for it. Here we go. Looks like a ghost detector, don't it? Looks like a ghost detector. Okay. Now then, I had to make a couple knobs for it. As you can see, I already got this one on there. And it's hard to come up with them. Actually, I need to glue that in there, but there's basically what their two knobs are going to look like. I think I'm going to go ahead and stop this video and call this part 3. And I'm going to go ahead and clean it all up, put the labels on it, and we'll have one final video with me using it and showing you how to use it and everything. But we got one built box now. Yeah, see, it's turning the frequency down, it's turning the frequency up. Looks good. Fun part. Still a nice little portable unit too. Anyway, guys, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I try to keep my videos around 10 minutes, is why this is going to go into one more part, because I know I've already got at least 10 minutes worth of video to clip and make a short one for you there. Anyway, guys, have a great day. This is Electron Man. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, hit that bell, and as always, have a great day.